Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Carlos Brando. Thank you for joining us today in this show at noon with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who is an expert. I don't know if I'm putting the stress in the right syllable, but she is the expert in the immigration world. She has been working on this field for over 40 years. Actually, it's 44 years. And well, it's really exciting that she has worked for several cases. A lot of people have been helped by Ms. Wong. Thousands of families, over 5,000 families, received her advice and help during each year. So it's really good. It's a really good news that Ms. Wong can help your immigration case. So I'm also thankful that Ms. Wong is going to be with us today live and taking some of her time to talk, to answer some of your questions, and to give us an idea of what it could be if we get an immigration relief. So let's welcome our head attorney and our guest, Attorney Margaret W. Wong. Good morning or good afternoon, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, and thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, Ms. Wong. And well, I would like to start by asking about the immigration comprehensive reform. A lot of people are excited about this, and some people have information, others have misinformation. But I would like to hear from you what the expectation is, what is going to happen with this immigration uh, reform, and when may we get a response from the Congress and the Senate?
Right. Senate just passed that infrastructure bill. So some rumor is that when it goes to Congress, they're going to add some immigration things into this infrastructure bill so we can at least get some changes. But so far, who knows? Because Congress will take time. Right now, I'm pretty sure they are negotiating somewhere, somehow. It's just what bills are going to put in and for both House to pass it and then go back to the president for signature. But for now, we need to face on what we have. Good news is Nitz Chavez, NTA, no date and time. You can do termination or reopen and terminate for 42B purposes. Prosecutorial discretion came in a few weeks ago, which means that you can ask OCC. In the olden days, we called them TA. Now we call them OCC, to at least stipulate as to will you oppose this 40 green card case? Would you oppose this 10-year cancellation case? And if you oppose, what's your problem? Do you want us to prove good moral character? Because I just did a case where it's a Guatemalan, and he pled guilty to soliciting. It's very much like a third-degree misdemeanor, which in the criminal arena is a very small case. On the other hand, the OCC got the criminal records and gave it to the judge, and which I did not get a copy, and we found it did. On the police record, they're saying that my client paid $20 to this woman to get, I'm sorry, vaginal sexual something, but
Wow.
also there's an HIV issue. I double checked with my client. He does not have HIV. He didn't know if the girl had HIV. It never really happened because that girl is an undercover agent, so it's attempting. So now it's only 2 years ago. So now the judge and OCC keep referring him as prostitution charge with HIV. I mean, this is totally wrong, right? Because there's nowhere in the police report something about HIV happened, but the police report also did not say that he has HIV or the girl have HIV or even something HIV, number one. Number two is even though it was a prostitution charge for $20, it never happened because it's under, but more than that, he pled guilty to soliciting, which is not prostitution, right? So it's not fair because if a woman could and wants to sell her body, then, and I'm not saying it's a woman's fault or a man's fault. I mean, it's for $20. I mean, this is serious because I'm fighting for his life, for his right or privilege to stay in America. So we had a big argument on that. But sometimes if you don't read your file, if you don't do the case, and these are people who don't even speak English, they don't know the difference between soliciting, misdemeanor, felony, HIV, because he doesn't have it. And he's indigenous. He doesn't even speak the Spanish well, not to say he speaks his own dialect. I mean, I don't even understand it. So that's why it's important. And I'm not just talking about it because I've been doing this for 45 years. I just passed my bar actually 45 years ago. So it's exciting. So it's I just think it's ridiculous, right? And he has been here since 98 or 89 or some weird stuff. He has 3 children who are totally disabled. We couldn't even bring the children to court because sometimes I show off if I have disabled kids, Down or autism. We show off the kids to make sure the judge feels sorry for us. In this case, we cannot even bring the kids to go to court because they couldn't sit still. They have this illness. So I couldn't bring it in. So the judge won't be able to see it, OCC. And OCC keeps saying, oh, it's prostitution, is HIV. And also he used another identity to work, which 75% of people with no papers. We all use a different identity, but we file tax under real name, real tax ID number, but we work under a different name and a different social. And that was when he was 15 years old, and he'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The bus takes him to make tortillas. I think he makes 40 cents for making 20 tortillas. He comes home at 6 o'clock at night. And then he sleeps. He works 6.5 hours a week since he came to America when he was 15. I mean, I'm looking at this case and 3 disabled kids married to undocumented alien, filed tax return all these years, had 1 charge. I'm not condoning him. I mean, we yelled at him in court. But I look at this case and I said, how dare America, with the judge who's supposed to be neutral, keep talking about prostitution, HIV, prostitution. So even I'm confused. I keep asking him, what did you do for this person? How are you so stupid? Because prostitution should be at least 60. I mean, I know the market. I've been a lawyer. I'm no spring chicken. I'm no Virgin Mary. I'm 71 years old. I know the market is $60, $80 for a BLOW job. I mean, it's not even, what are you doing? He's so I yelled at him. But one mistake in someone's life should not obliviate 30 years of staying in America, left the country, have a disabled child. And that's all in terms of how American, and I'm not saying I'm not American, I'm a wonderful American. I'm sorry, I talk too much. I'm just telling you how American law needs to change. We couldn't just say, oh, the judge is tough. OCC is tough. But these are people who don't communicate. They don't even go, they shop in Costco's. They don't go to Aldi's. They don't go to BJ's. They don't go to Walmart. They go to Target. Wherever you shop, you see your clients. Whenever I go there, I say, hey, I'm not embarrassed because I'm always looking for sale. And they think, oh, what is my lawyer looking for sales for, But you need to know the people. And Homeland Security Immigration Office is 60% of Homeland Security budget. So people like them, we are fee-based. That means immigrants pay the fee. So if I pay you $1,225 and you deny me my green card, if I apply again, I have to pay you. I'm not asking for favors. I just ask you to listen and don't change soliciting to prostitution. Don't change attempt to you did it. If you did it, $20 is not enough. I won't sleep with someone for only $20. If I do it, I'll charge more. You see what I'm saying? So I just don't understand what this, in every case we go into this problem. If you don't bring the kids in, they say, oh, where are your kids? Are you lying to us that the kids is not sick enough? I mean, we couldn't bring the kids in because who's going to babysit the kids when we are in testifying? And the court only allows 6 to 8 people now because of the virus. I mean, I can talk on. And this only happened yesterday. Luckily, the judge is very nice in this case. They gave us time to amend our records to explain the HIV because we didn't even have the medical record. I mean, we didn't even have records to show who has HIV. What is this HIV business? Because we proved my client don't have it. And sometimes you don't get HIV from one time, and if you did it, he didn't even do it. No, I'm just getting upset because these are cases that you do every day and you get burned out because, after a while you're like, I can't even handle this anymore. Sorry.
You are right, Ms. Wong, and I appreciate your honesty and your sincerity because these are tough cases that you need to fight. And it's fair when you have to fight someone that you understand that is logical. But when something is not even logic, then that's why you get upset, because you're saying this is not even logic, this is not even something that makes sense, that you are requesting now. But well, we know that you put your heart in the cases and that you are going to be giving your best to each one of those cases. So Ms. Wong, let's start with the questions that our audience are sending today. So Mohammed is saying the following: I am permanent resident with a green card for 9 years. I have two DUIs, but they are not more than 6 year past. Can you help me get my citizenship?
Number one, if your wife is an American citizen, you need only 3 years of good moral character. If the wife is not an American citizen, you need 5 years. In this case, DUI is not a CIMT, so it's not, but two is really sort of bad. All right. So be careful, no more three, because once you get three, it's considered a felony. We are out. So become a citizen, number one. Number two, it also depends on how you get the green card. If you get the green card through marriage, depends on when you divorce the wife. If you get the green card through employment, you need to make sure you work for the same employer for more than 6 months. Old law is you have to work for the same employer for more than a year. New law is you only need 6 months. So that we need to be sure. Number three, double check the DUI. Always get certified judgment entry and transcript. Try not to give immigration your police record, because police record, they always overcharge. And knowing these adjudicators that works in immigration and the government lawyers, they are very law enforcement because they work for, assistant U.S. attorneys. These are law enforcement agencies. But definitely if both your DUI is more than 6 years, it doesn't hurt to apply for citizenship. I keep reminding all my listeners, DUI is not CIMT. So, but no more than two. I mean, actually two is really not too good. So if you don't mind, you should also go to AA. Services. You need a mentorship to say you're no longer, I mean, if you're alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. You couldn't just say, I stopped drinking, so I stopped, because you can resume tomorrow, even though I know you're probably not, because you stopped drinking or you never really, it's just bad luck. You get caught twice. But in America, there's no such thing as bad luck. All right. So really try to join AA now, get letters to confirm that you are, that you have not been drinking, because you cannot say you're not alcoholic, because if you are, you're never. So I don't see a problem with you getting a citizenship, and you should get it before you get a third one. And please don't get a third one. It's damaging.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget that Ms. Wong has offices in 9 cities of the United States. Is in Atlanta, Columbus, Chicago, Cleveland, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And you can visit the website is imwong.com, imwong.com. And for more information, you can call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. We have another question, Ms. Wong. This question says, hey, good afternoon. I have DACA and got a DUI, but it dropped to physical control in state of Ohio. I have to complete 60-day jail treatment program. Will ICE pick me up after?
My gut is, even if ICE, you cannot control what they do. So we need to change how we think. All right. My gut is, even if ICE pick you up, they'll probably hold you for 3 hours. You'll be out probably with a small bond or with no bond. Right now, Biden's position is, unless it's serious, you should not be picked up. And also, it's only fiscal control. My gut is, you won't be picked up, but we cannot control what they think. You can control what you think. So I don't think you'll be picked up. The problem you will have is, after, when you extend DACA, you need to explain what is this fiscal control, and stuff like that. But I think you'll be fine. I don't think you'll be picked up. But even if you're picked up, you should get a bond in 2 or 3 hours and get out. I don't even think you'll be overnight. And don't be afraid of pickup. And don't be afraid if they start NTA you, because you face the issue. That's why, please don't see, this DUI stuff is a problem. Don't drink. I don't understand why you're drinking. If you drink one wine, eat like 10 sandwiches before you drink, because if you're like me, we're not that big or heavy. You drink one wine, you get stopped, and you get a DUI, because police have to give some tickets. Because if the police is too nice to everybody who's drunk, how are they going to make money for their city and for their own salaries, right? Because they got your fine and they support the police station. It's all about money. So don't drink, please, until you become a citizen.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And even when they become a citizen, they shouldn't drink and drive. If
That's
they
right.
want
You're right. You're
to,
right.
if they want to drink, they can do it, but please don't drive
That's right.
and drink. It's a very
But my
dangerous.
job is to get people green card citizens and stay in America at DACA. So my job
Oh,
finishes when you become, you do whatever you want. You're out of my hair, out of my life. Yep.
Ms. Wong, and for those people that probably are facing a case in immigration. I had a call just a few minutes ago from a person that he was he came to the United States in 2005, and he was giving a removal order from the immigration judge on 2006. This person has been here for those 15 years. He has kids that are born in the United States. So he wants to know if there is something that you could
Yes.
do in order to fight his case.
Yes. The question number one is it an abstention or did he go to court and
In
lose?
absentia, because he thought that
Good
he
job.
was going to be deported then.
Okay, no problem. So he probably got notice. Number two is I don't know if he kept all the old papers. If you have no lawyer, I would like to look at it for you. Nitz Chavez, as I keep saying, just came in. So if your NTA have no date and time, you can actually file for termination and file for 10-year cancellation. We have some success, but we also have some failures. The failures that I have, I'm going on appeal because it's such a new law that it's not a matter of you win or you lose. Of course, you want to win because you need a work permit. And that's another thing that we need American comprehensive reform to change. If people who did not know they're supposed to go, or people who were too scared to go, or people who could not get a ride and did not go to court, or the court happened on a Saturday, because sometimes even if a date and time, they put a fake date. So they put on Saturday, Sunday, they don't care. You just give you a date, right? So these are cases you can do motion to reopen. But if there's no way to do a motion to reopen, there's three ways to do it. Number one is Chavez. Number two, do change of country condition. Wherever you came from, like El Salvador just became really bad. Mexico had a new government just in June. Or old government, whatever, is becoming bad. So look at change of country condition, but it has to relate to your nexus and your fear. It couldn't just be, oh, I don't like my president. Venezuela went down, so I do a change of country condition. You cannot do that, right? Change of. Number three, look at errors. Was there any error? Did they send a notice to the same address? Did you live in that address? If not, why did you give that address? Look at the bond papers. Look at the you look at legal error and material error to do a motion to reopen. It's just like any court case. Immigration law is just like any law. If I never know I'm supposed to go to court, how am I supposed to get there? I didn't know. Or if I was sick that day and have medical records to prove it, but don't lie, all right? Because it really is not good. So I was sick that day. My ride didn't show up. Actually, my good friend Fahad, and I'm very jealous. He won a case. I mean, I'm really jealous. I should have won that case, but he won it before me. But he actually won a court case on in absentia, and actually he did a good job. He explained to the court how the client actually had a ride, drove the car, or he drove himself. What happened? The traffic was so bad. By the time he got there, he was like 2 or 3 hours late. And by then, the judge already gave the final, because you could be 1 minute late. If they gave you a deportation order, then you have to do a motion to reopen. So that case was open. And then that case, they even talk about Ohio traffic, Highway 480, which Mr. Juan, you and I were driving, and the traffic was bad. Normally it's very bad. And Mr. Fahad actually also talked about the weather that day. I mean, that's how you win cases. You really have to maybe go back to that day, to look at meteorology, really talk to a client. What car are you driving? I actually have clients whose tires broke down, and I have proof. So the whole thing is proof and the detail, and write it down. You may lose, but you may win. So you should do anything you need to. But that's a fun case for an abstention decision. So yes, you can do something.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And there is something always that we can try. I was taught in the law school in my country that we need to ask for all the heaven, and maybe we will be given a little star,
That's
but
right.
we need to ask for it.
At least we got something, right?
Yes. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for sharing. And also, Jose, who was listening to the question before, he says that he forgot to mention that he was already in removal proceedings, but he obtained his DACA after, and he got the bond, and he is married to an U.S. resident. He was never convicted to DV, but he still is in removal proceedings. He's going to file for I-130 tomorrow. Will that help out of court?
Yes. Number one. Number two is you have DACA. So I wonder why when you say you're still in review proceeding, doesn't mean you already have a final order or you're in. Because if you're in, you can get PD, you have DACA. But you already have deportation decision. You need to reopen it and file for green card if you enter legally. If not, you only have DACA. If you didn't have parole, you cannot get the green card. So file the I-130. You don't really need the I-130 if you already have a final judgment entry. But you have to look at the final judgment entry, because if you came illegally, I-130 approval doesn't help you to do motion to reopen. Because if you enter illegally, you couldn't adjust anyway, but it doesn't hurt. I would look at the NTA. I would do exactly what I just said. Look for ways, because my gut is you already have removal. Because if you don't have removal, you're only in proceedings, you could have PD'd it, or your lawyer could have PD'd it, because these are all new laws. My gut is you already have deportation decision, but in the meantime, you got DACA. No, these are very good cases. Maybe don't even worry about decision, because Biden may give DACA people green card. So my thing is, and I'm 71 years old, we are happy. We're in America. From nothing, we got DACA. From nothing, I have a beautiful family. My girlfriend, my wife, already got green card. How did she get it? Could I have tied into her green card? But she must have gotten it as a single girl from her parents. So I married her later, but she only have a green card. If she has a green card, you need to leave the country and come back, because she only. But if you have citizen and you have DACA parole, then you can adjust. So I won't even worry about it. But if you got parole before you were 18, then you don't even need a pardon, because you were under 18. But only if you have no perm bar. So these are all issues, and it's complicated. But definitely file the I-130. Definitely look at any way to reopen. I won't even worry about deportation if you already have DACA. Hell with it.
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And the next, we have a lot of questions today. Tashina Kanam, who has pending asylum and working as essential worker, will they include in the new immigration path?
Yes, I hope so. It depends. The thing about essential worker is when amnestia came in, or when agriculture worker came in, they're very specific, like apples qualify, oranges don't, bananas qualify, corn don't. So at that time, we have to look at what essential worker definition. But you already have pending asylum. You already have a work permit. Work with that work permit. Make something of yourself. I won't worry about it. You may even win your asylum, but if not, you win 10-year withholding. Because if you lose asylum, if you file within 1 year, you can win asylum. If not, you may win withholding. So you still get a work permit. I think for now, enjoy. Don't worry about too much of new law. You're already in proceedings. You already hopefully got your work permit every 2 years. If you have children born in America, it's more than 10 years, then you may be able to do a 10-year cancellation, give you a higher chance. You're good. I won't worry too much about the new law. You're good.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And we have more interesting questions today, but don't forget to call and get more information. So for the person that had the prior question, Jose, please give us a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. You are in Ohio, and Ms. Wong is in Cleveland, Ohio, and Columbus as well. So please give us a call, 216-279-3984, and make sure that you have clarified anything that you have in your mind, or any concerns that you have about your case. My children and I are waiting on our I-130 getting approved. During the period of time of waiting, can we enter the U.S. with our travel visas or tourist visas?
That's a very, very good question. I get that question all the time, because if your family doesn't file the I-130 for you, never get a green card. On the other hand, once the I-130 is filed, it's very, very difficult to get a tourist visa. So it depends on what country you're from, where you're now. Did you ever try to get a tourist visa? Who filed for you? For example, your brother filed for you, a sibling filing, it takes 15 years. So on your DS-160, when you apply for the tourist visa, they have a form. Any immediate relatives or relatives in America? The answer is yes. Do you intend to go visit? I would like to, because you're applying for tourist visa. So was a visa petition ever been filed for you? The answer is yes. And they say family 4, which is sibling, family 1, which is family, which is your parents who are citizens, family 1 filed so and so date. So some American embassy, they appreciate your honesty, because most of us would say no, right? Because if we lie, we may get it, but unknown. That's why most of the time, if you tell the truth, sometimes you may get it. And for example, sibling takes 15 years. If you only filed like 2, yes, we already have tourists. Good job. My husband filed. Your husband filed. So if the husband filed for you if it's a, you know what? I wonder why, if you already have a tourist visa, why didn't you already come to America and file for the green card in America? Why did your husband file for you? Now you get a tourist visa. Because let me tell you, if your husband only have a green card, you can come here and adjust. Because family 2A is open. You can file adjustment. Then they're going to ask, oops, when you come to the airport, did you have intention to file? But if American's an American citizen, then you should have come on the tour. You know what I'm saying? So this is an interesting question. Your husband filed, which means that if you're desperate to come. The legal way is not to get the green card here at the airport. They're going to ask you a lot of questions. But if not, this is stupid. Because I don't know why your husband filed for you. You already have a tourist visa. I don't know what country you're from, because that would help me. It could be from a Middle Eastern or Indian country. At that time, you may not have a tourist visa. You may not have been married, and you have children. So this is an interesting issue. I would not have. He's LPR. Okay, if you come to America, LPR is open now. It opened for 2 or 3 years already, which means if you came on a tourist visa, if somehow you can overcome 214B and preconceived intent, you can adjust in America. I feel bad because he must have filed like 2 or 3 years ago when family 2A is not open. From Hong Kong. Come, what are you doing? Come, you can get you are too late for DD. You're from Hong Kong. Come right away, because it's very bad there. I would come right away, explain why they're changing of the mind, and come through some good airports. Because you miss DD. Hong Kong people just 2 or 3 weeks ago can get DD. That's okay. You don't need DD. Your husband is a citizen. See, that's the people like us. I came from Hong Kong. When times are good, we don't want to go. When times are bad, oh, I want to go tomorrow. And when times are good, you leave again. Because we have good jobs. We make more money in Hong Kong than in America. I came from Hong Kong. And thanks for that question.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And yeah, it's really good that the questions that we are getting today are really, really good questions. But if you want more information, just please give us a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And okay, so this next question is, I just got my Venezuelan TPS. I have a pending asylum, had my interview, but no answer yet. Can I travel to Colombia to see my mother and come back now that I have my TPS?
Yes, if you have parole from TPS.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
get your parole.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they can apply for the parole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
perfect.
they're not going back home. They're Venezuela. They're only going to Colombia. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So please call Miss Wong. She will be happy to help your immigration case. And well, Miss Wong, our time is up. But we had a very, very exciting show today with a lot of questions from people. So please, for everybody who is asking questions, don't forget to call Miss Wong. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And she has offices in 9 cities of the United States: Atlanta, Chicago, Columbus, Cleveland, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984. So tomorrow you are going to be in Columbus.
Yes.
So
8
that's
o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning. So, Jose, you are in Ohio. You can call today and make your appointment for tomorrow and just clarify whatever issues you have or whatever concerns you have in the immigration field. Ms. Wong, is there any last advice that you want to give people for today?
Now is a very, very good time. No more, I mean, if you have serious criminal record, there's still deportation, but normally there's no more deportation. No one pick up at the border, so there's no reason why we still get depressed. We go out drinking, we go out driving, have sex with prostitutes. So stop, all right? Just pay your taxes, work, save your money, and I'm sure new law would come and good things will come. I'm sure. I just know it after 45 years of working in this business.
That's true. And thank you so much, Ms. Wong, and see you next week. And well, I hope you have a good time tomorrow in Columbus, departing at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh,
I've
thank
been
you.
there. Thank
Yes,
you
that's
so much,
right.
Ms. Wong.
Thank you.
And see you next time. And for everybody who has been connected with us today, please give us a call 216 279 3984, 216 279 3984, with the attorney Margaret W. Wong and all the team of attorneys and the staff that is willing to help your immigration case. Thank you so much and see you next time.